ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, June 2nd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Glad to have you with us. The text line is open, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Coming up in about 10-15 minutes, we're going to hear from Wayne Ryan, Executive Director of WVSSAC. We've got the state baseball tournament coming up this Saturday, Jack Cook Field. It's going to go an entire week. We've got the brackets out today. We'll talk about that. Also, coming up a little bit later on in the program from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter, we're going to be speaking with Jeane, Chaffin and Kit Vance. The golf tournament fundraiser for the chapter is coming up. It's going to be on June 26th. How do you get a piece of that action? Well, we're going to have those ladies tell us more about that and what it means to the alumni chapter and how to get involved with the Huntington chapter. If you're not that familiar with it, this will be a great time for you to start taking some notes if you want to be a part of an alumni chapter that is probably close to you. And, of course, we'll get those texts in, as I promised, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Heartbreak for my guy, Bill Cornwell, yesterday. It was very heartbreaking. You all know that Bill is he goes multiple ways when it comes to his sports teams. Of course, he's got that Ohio State fandom going on, right? He's got that UCLA fandom going on. Yeah, you know, you're aware of this. He's got that University of Kentucky thing going on. Born in West Virginia, but you might think he was actually born in the heart of Lexington some days. He has lots of teams he follows, and he's a diehard of all of them. And it was WVU beating Kentucky 6-5 in 10 innings. So the Mountaineers are going to host a super regional next weekend against Cal Poly. That is amazing for WVU. They've gotten some tremendous crowds to watch this team. So to get to host a super regional, that says something about where your program is at. So congratulations for the Mountaineers. But it was just devastating for Bill. He doesn't even want to talk about it. I looked at him this morning and said, hey, yeah, Kentucky. What? Yeah, he's like, oh, don't talk to me about that. Don't get me started. Okay, I'm not going to do that, Bill. I understand. I respect your feelings in this time of need right now. So, again, congratulations for the Mountaineers as they continue on in the NCAA baseball tournament. We have got baseball action coming up tonight right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Pirates in action tonight, opening up a series. 8:10, first pitch in Houston. Guardians are also opening up a series in the Bronx against the Yankees tonight. And the Royals got the better of the Reds yesterday, 9-2. So those two teams will try to get it done again tonight, 7:10 in Cincinnati. We've also got Stanley Cup action coming up tonight on our sister station. That is Cat Sports, 93.3 and 1340. It's Game 1, Stanley Cup between Carolina and Las Vegas. Who do you like in this? You like Carolina? Do you like the Golden Knights? Is it going 5? Is it going 6? Is it going 7? That's our question of the day on the text line. Who do you like? How many games is it going to take between Carolina and Las Vegas? The ratings are up. A lot of people are tuning in more than ever. Of course, you get that bounce from the Olympics, and that seems to have carried over quite nicely for the NHL. And then, thankfully, we can actually watch hockey, and then we can watch the NBA because Game 1 of the finals between the Knicks and the Spurs coming up on Wednesday. We're going to go on the air with that on our sister station as well, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340, 8 o'clock. So plan appropriately. If you want to listen to some hockey and you want to listen to the NBA finals, get that app. Go over to catsports933.com, download the app, or you can always stream it on the website as well. So we'll get those texts started in just a few minutes. And again, that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're going to turn our attention to high school baseball. The state tournament is coming up at Jack Cook Field. This is going to be an exciting tournament. You have all 4 classifications. We've got the brackets. So we're going to start with Class A, and St. Joseph takes on Trinity. That is game number 1. That's going to be the 10 a.m. game. Then Gilmer County will face off against Greater Beckley. That's game number 2 in the first half of the bracket. And then it's going to be East Hardy and Pendleton County in the second half of the bracket at 5 p.m. on Saturday, June 6th. And then also on Saturday, June 6th, it's going to be Sherman and Madonna. That's going to be the game to follow. How this works, the first game and the third game are set, and then it's 50 minutes after the previous game. So plan appropriately if you're going to watch tournament games all week long. And then we go over to the Class AA bracket, and at the 1 seed, it's Wheeling Central facing off against the 8 seed James Monroe. That's Monday, 10 a.m. Logan will face off against Doddridge County. That is Monday as well, and that's going to be the game that follows. And then the second half of the bracket, Frankfort will face off against Lincoln at 5 p.m. No show for me, so I'll be sitting back listening to some baseball. Independence will face off against Buffalo. That's going to be the second half of the bottom part of the bracket. And so that's what the bracket looks like in AA. Then we get to AAA, and I know a lot of you are excited about that because number 1 Bridgeport takes on East Fairmont, 10 a.m. on Tuesday, June 9th. It'll be followed by Ripley and Spring Valley. That'll be the game to follow, so 50 minutes after the first game. So that's the upper part of the bracket. And then at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, again, no show, St. Albans will face off against John Marshall at 5 p.m. And then Shady Spring and Robert C. Byrd. That is going to be your last game of the evening on June 9th. And then we get to the 4A bracket, Quad A. It is number 1 George Washington taking on Huntington, and that is on Wednesday, June 10th at 10 a.m. Washington in the second game of the morning-afternoon session will face off against Jefferson. And then in the second half of the bracket at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, Morgantown will face off against the Cabell Midland Knights. And then we've got Hurricane taking on Martinsburg in the final game of the bracket. Again, first game and third game are set at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. So we've got Huntington, number 8 seed, taking on George Washington. Cabell Midland taking on Morgantown Hurricane, the 3 seed. Midland 7 seed, and it's going to be a fun bracket, I think. So looking forward to it. And if you can't make any particular game, you want to listen, we got you covered. All you have to do is get your radio set to ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And on, of course, the website. Just head on over to WRVC.com. You can download the app, or you can listen live on the website player. When we continue, we're going to bring in Wayne Ryan. He is the executive director of the WVSSAC. We're going to talk about this baseball tournament. What do you need to know? What the setup's been like. And, of course, we'll get your questions later on and later in the program as well from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. We're going to speak with Jeane Chaffin and Kit Vance. The golf tournament for the chapter is coming up on Friday, June 26th. We'll tell you how you can get involved and how you can get involved as well with the Huntington Alumni Chapter. All of that's coming up on today's edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with this Tuesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Coming up from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter, we're going to be speaking with Jeane Chaffin and Kit Vance to tell us more about the golf tournament that's coming up on Friday, June 26th. But first, let's talk baseball. Jack Cook Field's going to be the place to be starting on Saturday. The state baseball tournament coming back to Huntington, and tell us more about that event is the executive director of the WVSSAC, Wayne Ryan. And congratulations, we're finally here. I didn't think we'd ever get to this point, but here we are, finally ready to go.
Well, we are. We're excited about it. We've just finished, softball in South Charleston, and looking forward to baseball in Huntington for the first time at Marshall University, Jack Cook Field, and we've got pretty good matchups. Got some local teams in it also, so it should be exciting.
The bracket's out today, and as you mentioned, there are several local teams, not just from Huntington, but the surrounding region. So a little bit for everybody if they want to come out and see the tournament. How difficult or how easy has it been to get this tournament to this point where you're ready to go? I know there's a lot of conversations that need to be had between you, Marshall University, logistics, How has that process progressed to this point now where you're ready to go?
Well, it's progressed very well. Our director of baseball, Chris Wells, and our staff, we've met with Marshall University. Andrew Brown has been the point man at Marshall and his staff, and of course Anna Atkins from the CVB. And we've had 2 or 3 in-person meetings at the stadium. We've Zoomed a couple times, and I'm sure there'll be a little something here and there that we maybe haven't connected on. But overall, I think we're well prepared and really looking forward to the experience.
For that first-time fan, maybe this is their first opportunity to come to the state baseball tournament. What do you want them to know? What should they be prepared for when they come to Jack Cook Field for all of the tournament or just a single session?
Well, I think they're going to enjoy some extended high school baseball in the realm that, for years in West Virginia, only 4 teams made it in each class. And now we've expanded the field to 8 teams in each class. And, there were really good teams that were losing in the regional finals that never got to say they were in the state tournament. So we're glad that we have more athletes that are going to have that lifetime experience and that memory. And we think the competition will be good. And we're really looking forward to that.
Wayne Ryan is with us, Executive Director, WVSSAC. So the brackets are out. We know where everyone is in the seating. So only thing we need now are the teams and the fans. When you look at these opportunities, and you probably have more data on this than I do, but it just feels like, just a gut feeling, that this tournament has gotten bigger just because it's expanded, the generation of more interest. You've seen that as well. More people are excited because there's more opportunities. And I don't think that's really diluted, what you're trying to do here.
Without a doubt, we've got some communities and some teams that, like I say, anytime you double the size of your field, but also you're bringing good quality, because our regional matchups in baseball have always been really tight, good matchups. And now basically those games will be played, although it's seeded, those teams will be involved in the state tournament. So we think that will make for some exciting baseball. And, I think the new experience of a change always creates interest, and I know Marshall's done a really good job of promoting the event, and I think the experience and the teams are even excited about having batting cages and being able to get there and warm up appropriately and play at a college stadium. Just a lot of excitement.
Our guest is Wayne Ryan, the Executive Director of the WVSSAC. The state baseball tournament comes up on Saturday, and for those of you that maybe can't attend or you can't come to every game, we will have you covered. Every single game right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Of course, we hope that everyone heads out to Jack Cook Field, takes the radio with them, as we will have. That's amazing. We're going to have baseball Saturday and then Monday through Saturday, every single game. And, I don't think we talk enough about some of your partners. It's really gotten this much bigger because you have partners like Metro News. There's a lot of interest statewide. Not everybody can make it to Huntington or the state tournament, so this is another way for fans to possibly get that state tournament experience.
Well, Metro News will do a great job covering the tournament. Of course, it'll be streamed on the NFHS network, and so there'll be great coverage if you can't make it there. But we hope people will come. Number one, the athletes deserve that, and so we're looking forward to good crowds. But if not, the coverage is first class, and we know that we put out a really good product through Metro and through the Federation, absolutely.
And, of course, if fans do want to attend, what's the best way for them to get tickets? Obviously, we want to push them to get them early and not have to wait in line.
I absolutely encourage them to get them early. Go to our website, click on the GoFan link, and have your ticket already downloaded to your phone. So it's just as easy as touching 2 buttons and validating the ticket, and you're in. So that's very easy that way. If they can do it once they're there by scanning the QR code, or if they need to make a purchase, we'll have laptops there too with a credit card. It is cashless. So it's all tickets are digital, and that makes it clean and makes sure all the money stays in place where it belongs. You don't have any issues whatsoever. Worked really well in softball this year. It's worked really well in all of our state tournaments. Now we're going on about the 5th year like that. So you're right. Encourage everybody to go to GoFan, go to our website, go to GoFan, and go ahead and purchase their ticket.
What's your role going to be during this week? You're just going to be able to sit back and just watch it work?
Now we're going to put out some fires. I'm sure there'll be some little things here or there, but in general, the more we can step back and watch it work and just keep things on schedule, keep answering people's questions, and solving a few logistic problems that come up here and there. That's our primary role. And, of course, we've got 2 tournament directors that will also be, taking care of the team's needs once they arrive, and our staff will be there, and we'll have a good presence. And I know Marshall's going to be well represented with the workforce, too. So I know that we'll have receptive people to any issues that do come up.
Wayne Ryan with us, the Executive Director of WVSSAC. And before I let him go, there's one thing that I've been really happy about, and I just want to emphasize that and maybe stress that as well with your assistance. I've seen a few coaches, few athletic directors remind the local fan bases that there are going to be a lot of new people in Huntington, in the area, and to show these people around, to guide them, to help them enjoy every aspect of being in Huntington, from lodging to restaurants. And I know that's probably the norm everywhere you go, but that's been exciting for me to see. Just everybody is happy to be welcoming in. Usually these are your rivals on the field, but now everybody's happy to have everybody here until the first pitch.
Well, we're obviously when that pitch throws, we're competitive on the field, but I think in general, we're all here for education-based athletics. We're here for our schools and our teams, and excited about that opportunity to share those experiences together. Absolutely.
Wayne, we appreciate your time as always. I know you're super busy. You've got softball to wrap up. You've got baseball to get ready for, and we're looking forward to having you in Huntington here in a few days.
Sounds great. Exciting times. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Wayne. That is Wayne Ryan, Executive Director of the WVSSAC, the baseball tournament coming up. Starting on Saturday, we'll have all those games right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. When we continue, we're going to turn our attention to an upcoming golf tournament where you can get involved as part of the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. It's taking place Friday, June 26th. How can you get involved with the golf tournament and the chapter? Jeane Chaffin, Kit Vance are here to tell us more when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 10:06, it is Metro News Talk Line right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let's turn our attention now to something a little bit closer to home. Marshall University of Huntington Alumni Chapter will be having its 2026 golf tournament fundraiser. That is coming up on Friday, June 26th. It's at Creekside Golf Course. That is in La Valette. And to tell us more about that event, why you should get involved, and, of course, everything that's happening with the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter, we've got Jeane Chaffin and Kit Vance joining us in studio. We always love it when people show up in studio. Thank you both for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Paul.
We've got a lot to get into, and of course, the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter, it's one of the newer chapters. It was surprising that for years we didn't have a Huntington Alumni Chapter, and so now here we are. What's the response been so far from people maybe are still finding out about it?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, 2 years, actually about 2.5 years ago, they started it back up because it had just kind of fizzled. People had kind of let go. So they started it back up, and it started kind of rolling, and it's just had a ton of enthusiasm because this is the home base, since you just talked about baseball, for Marshall. And so if we have a chapter anywhere, we need to have it here in Huntington. So it gained a lot of momentum. We're still going. We're involved in a lot of the community service programs that are needed, that are associated with either the athletics or the foundation at Marshall.
We have a great group of volunteers, and like Kit said, it really just kind of took off crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had the idea from someone who serves on the alumni board, let's do this. Brad Smith wanted it when he came, and he was probably kind of dumbfounded that we didn't have it, and along with everybody else being right here at Marshall. But we started doing meetings, and people just started coming, and like I said, we have a fabulous group of volunteers that are eager to do almost anything that we put out there. And it could be something during the day, it could be something at night, and they show up.
Our guest, Jeane Chaffin, Kit Vance from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. So how do people get involved with the alumni group? How do they become members? You know, what do they need to know if they wanted to show up to a meeting and find out what everything's about?
Well, we actually have a website, and so a lot of the things that we have, including our events that we have coming up with this golf outing, you can go on there. So our website is www.muhac, which stands for Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter, .org. So you just put the initials in, .org. And you can go on there and look at past events that we have coming up. You can, as we'll go into in just a minute, about the golf outing, how to sign up for things for it. There's also a on our social media, we have Facebook and Instagram. So we can go on those, and we have one for more involved members where they can go in and submit that they have, are an alumni, and you don't necessarily have to be, graduated from Marshall. You could just be a Marshall fan, and we want you to come to the meetings and be involved. We just love that enthusiasm that people have. So you can go on our Facebook, and then we can get from that your email address, and then you can start kind of getting notifications about our meetings. And we do have a monthly meeting that we have each and every month, just to kind of keep everybody in the loop on the latest and greatest going on for us.
And as you know, Bill Cornwell is our current president.
Oh, we know. We know.
I guess he doesn't let you not know.
Well, a surprise.
And Kit is our previous president, so... but Bill is good to send out emails in advance of our meetings, and once we have that email address, we have that capability to let you know, and then he actually does a reminder as well. And we have elected officers, we keep minutes, and we do all of that stuff, and the meetings are typically the second Monday of the month. Correct. At 5:30.
Starting around 5:30,
6 o'clock,
6
somewhere.
o'clock, depending on how chatty we are.
Yeah. So, and it's all business. We do have some fun, but we lay it out there. This is what we're doing. This is what the needs are as far as volunteers. We need X number of people here, X number of people there, and people come through. They really do.
And that's the great part. If you follow us on Facebook, we will put an invite or a sign up for when we do have volunteers. So if people are wanting to be a part of the chapter and be a part of the volunteer experiences, we will have slots of, say, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We need 5 people for this event. And people can sign up right then and there and submit what times that they can work. So it's really user-friendly for anybody in all ages.
Our guests, Jeane Chaffin and Kit Vance from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. Of course, the next event's coming up is the golf tournament, and that's why you two are here today to tell us more about that. That's going to be taking place on Friday, June 26th at Creekside Golf Course in Lavallette. And as far as fundraisers are concerned, this one's pretty affordable. Usually it's pretty pricey to get in a tournament like this. $360 for a team of 4, $100 for an individual. That's it. That's usually a round of golf anyway, right? Just about.
Pretty much, depending on where you play. But, we have multiple teams signed up already. We do have a few slots left. So people who are hearing this, if you want to play, you need to get in touch with somebody.
Fast.
It's on Facebook. It's on our website, I assume, and I haven't actually seen it on the website, but I haven't looked, so I'm sure it's there. But the contact information for Kit and myself are on there, and we will always take door prizes and sponsorships, and you can learn more about that if you reach out to one of us.
Okay, and again, it's $100 for individual, $360 for a team of 4. And registration opens at 7 a.m. Starting tee time is 8 a.m. Anything else you want people to know about as they decide to participate in this, or they show up? Anything special you've got planned, or are we keeping some surprises?
Well, we always have surprises. But as she mentioned, if you go on that website, and I'll repeat it again, www.muhac.org. There you can hit a link for events, and it'll take you to the golf outing. You can sign up as a golfer, a team. You can also sign up as a volunteer. We need volunteers. We need the runners, and it is a blast. And we also have where you can sign up to be a sponsor. We are still taking sponsors. We have certain sponsors for certain levels and for certain parts of it, such as a breakfast sponsor, lunch sponsor. You will get served food. We have the raffle afterwards, so we have some fantastic prizes that we have lined up. And we have the food. Yeah. And and as we all know that have been to Creekside, they have great food. So it's a really great time. So it starts, as you said, at a shotgun at 8 o'clock. It is a scramble. So it's going to be kind of fast paced. We'll be done, I think last year, what was it, about 1 o'clock or so? And we all meet afterwards where everybody eats. We have a couple of awards. There are some awards. And then we also have the raffle to where we have tickets, and you put the tickets in the bag on which raffle you like the best, and we reveal who the raffle winner is to those. And we had some fantastic, we had everything from everything.
Yeah. We had a huge variety last year, and I think we're going to have a good variety this year. We also have some surprise holes if you want to participate. That's another way we can make a little money. And we sell mulligans, which we will do again this year. It's all about making money for the students, and we're not afraid to ask for it, so bring some money with you because we're going to ask for it.
Yes, because these events do, as we know, cost money, but the proceeds go to the Marshall students. Those are forming scholarships for the Marshall students. So we all volunteer. We have a sign up for volunteer, but we're all volunteering when we're a part of this chapter. So it all goes towards the students. We want to encourage students to come to Huntington and go to school here and become a part of the herd.
You read my mind because I was going to ask where are the greatest needs, where do the proceeds go? And of course, obviously, you need to keep this organization afloat, but at the same time, you want to raise as much money as you possibly can to support Marshall athletics, students, and of course, you also want to be very competitive with the other alumni group as well, because I would assume this is probably pacing itself to be the biggest group, or at least it's close to being the biggest group among all the alumni associations.
We do all right. Southern Coalfield chapter, they're awesome. There's a Myrtle Beach chapter. There's the Indianapolis chapter. I mean, there's some really great chapters. So we keep each other on our toes for sure.
A little bit competitive, though. I mean, come on. Let's. This is home base.
Never hurt anything.
This is the big one. This is home base. This should be the biggest one of them all.
It should be.
And it will be.
We have. We did fantastic with this is our second time doing this golf outing. So we just keep building it bigger and better, and it's been a blast. Everybody that comes off that course are like, we're doing it again next year. We had perfect weather. We're going to have perfect weather this year. It's a great experience.
We had two of our bigger sponsors come off the course last year and say, sign me up again for next year. One person did the exact same thing, which is one of our larger sponsors, and then the other person actually bumped his sponsorship up. So everybody had a great time. People who missed it were like, oh man, I wish I could have done it, but they didn't hear about it or something, or too late. But we're moving right along. We've got multiple teams, and like I said, we got some great raffle gifts coming in, and we just want to make it a fun day for everybody and make some money for the students.
Our guests, Jeane Chaffin and Kit Vance from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. The golf tournament is coming up on Friday, June 26th. You need to register now. It's at Creekside Golf Course, and we'll post the link later on social so you have a quick way to find out where you need to go. This isn't the only thing that you're involved in. You've mentioned some of the community projects that you've done in the past. Those things are posted, what you've done, what's coming up, and what's next after the golf tournament that you're excited about.
I'm going to take a big breather. No.
Fair. After all, you stepped down. You've moved on.
Yeah.
You're president emeritus now.
There we go. Ooh, wow.
But she's busier than she was when she was the president.
I am. But busy people get things done, correct?
True.
So it's kind of a little downtime since school is not in full session right now, but it'll gain right back up in speed where we start having, planning for a big part that we do is we do each of the commencements. We hand out alumni T-shirts that are free, that are funded by the foundation, and that is, for me, one of the funnest things that we do is we go to to the commencement, and when they come off that stage, we hand them an alumni t-shirt, and those smiles and everything are fabulous. We just got done doing the community cares, which a lot of people did, landscaping on campus, painting, cleaning, all kinds of different things. So our chapter's involved with that as well. At Christmas time, we help with that on decorating the cookie station. We do the before the commencement. We are involved with the foundation and a lot of things. With the Marshall Athletics, we handed out those towels for breast cancer awareness at the stadium. So we're kind of on call. So when they call us and like, hey, we need some volunteers to help do this, whether it's the foundation or the athletics department, we're there. And we know, because we have such great members, that we can count on our people to be there.
One of the things that we did last summer, which was a request from one of our members who's involved with everything, is he is a band alumnus, and we went one evening for the band camp and actually passed out drinks and snacks and stuff for them. And they were very, very appreciative. And, you know, it was hot for them, so we passed out Gatorades and waters and
we had like little
crackers and chips. Yeah, little
them.
swag bags full of snacks and stuff. And they were just, it was a great event.
That's a great point, because I want to stress this isn't just an athletics organization.
Correct.
No, this is Marshall University. Yeah, athletics, the institution. If somebody needs someone to work a concession stand at an event, you're there. Someone needs help with commencement, you're there. And this covers everything. So if you're someone who wants to help out with the university, and it doesn't just have to be athletics, this is the organization for you. And, of course, a mean tailgate as well, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
legendary.
we've done that as well.
Legendary.
Kick-off of volleyball and softball and stuff like that. We've done that.
Basketball, women's basketball we've tailgated for. So, yeah, we're the place to be. Yep.
Okay, I've heard about this tailgate. Every game day, it's Bill's like, hey, this is the tailgate to go to. He's talking it up completely. So if anyone has any questions, go to the website. You'll be there. You'll answer anything. Is there anything else maybe you want to share that I've missed, or that you think that needs to be talked about, that you have the opportunity to? The floor is yours.
As far as our social media, any event that we have, we try to post pictures after we do that, and that includes people as well. You know, Kit mentioned the community cares. Our day was Friday morning, and I don't know if anybody's ever been involved or not. This was my first time, and when we did, every day they give away door prizes and stuff, so they mentioned, because we were the last day, they had over 900 volunteers for that week. And like Kit said, they did everything from landscaping to painting to cleaning. I was on a picture hanging detail in the student union. But it was fun. We hung like almost 60 pictures up. And it was interesting because we had a lot of women that, were measuring and this, that, and the other. And they said, well, what do you think? I said, if it was at my house, I'd be measuring. Here, not so much. And we got a lot to do. But we were able to get it done. They served a fabulous lunch and gave away door prizes. So it's a great thing to get involved with, and they usually have 2 sessions a day. And it's just a great thing. And we had a really good turnout for our day. And for it to be in the morning, 9 a.m., we had probably 40 people there that, not everybody can do that, but people who can, it was a great event. And we, like Kit said, we've done a little bit of everything. We try to be involved with anything that anybody asks us. We try to make it happen.
We will get those membership numbers up.
We appreciate that.
That's my goal. That is absolutely my goal. I want to see a spike after this, and then have you back again. We'll do it again, and we'll do it again, and we'll do it again.
We've been steady climbing, but we'll take a spike any day.
Absolutely.
We'll post the information on social medias as well, and we'll link it into the podcast for those of you that are listening on the podcast. We have Kit Vance and Jeane Chaffin joining us, Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. The 2026 Golf Tournament Fundraiser coming up Friday, June 26th at Creekside Golf Course. Thank you both for coming in. We always love it when people come in. As you can see, it gets lonely in here sometimes when I'm just talking to a wall.
We're wondering if you were getting punished, Paul.
Well,
No, but thank you for having us.
Yes,
we
very
really
much so.
appreciate it.
anytime.
Very, very much.
You are welcome back anytime. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll get your text 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Tuesday, June 2nd edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says, I didn't know we had an alumni chapter. Absolutely. We're going to get all the socials and we're going to get all the links out there. There's also a Facebook group as well, so you can join there and keep updated. And the alumni chapters are growing. Obviously, there are several depending on where you listen. You could be a part of some of the big ones. Of course, there's the one in Charleston. There's one in Cincinnati. There's one in Louisville. There is one in Parkersburg, and of course, that's just local. Raleigh, we've got Washington, D.C., we have gotten Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. There are different alumni groups all over the country, and if you want to find out more information, we'll get that info to you. But of course, if you're listening locally, the Huntington chapter, one of the newer chapters, and a lot going on. And I think the advantage for the local chapter is that you can do more directly to benefit Marshall University. That's one of the cool things about that. What you can do directly helps the university. So if you're looking to get involved and you want to find a way to be a part of Marshall and you're a fan, or if you're an alum, you didn't have to graduate. You can be someone who attended Marshall University and maybe you were there for a couple of years. Doesn't matter. So invitation is open, and we'll get those links out to everyone so that way you can find a quick way to join, find out more. And of course, this golf tournament coming up, it again is very affordable. I've seen some of these golf scrambles before, and a team of four, $360, that's not bad at all. And $100 just for an individual, that's pretty good. And it benefits Marshall University and the alumni chapters. So every bit helps. And bright and early, registration 7 a.m., starting time at 8. Get up early on a Friday, have a good time. And Creekside's pretty good. If you haven't been out there before, Creekside is really a nice course, and they do a nice job when it comes to the food as well. So I think it'll be fun for everyone. We appreciate Jeane Chaffin joining us and Kit Vance as well from the Marshall University Huntington Alumni Chapter. And, of course, our very own Bill Cornwell, if you heard earlier, he's the president of this outfit now. So no pressure on Bill, but you got to leave it. You got to leave it as good as you got it, and maybe better. I don't know. We'll see if he's up to the task. That's going to do it for this edition. I will be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And don't forget, we got a busy week next week as the state baseball tournament is coming up. And we're going to have all those games from start to finish, from 10 a.m. to all the way in the evening. Every game all week next week right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRVC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.